Welcome to our essential guide on Incoterms 2020. Today we're demystifying two of the most common yet confusing shipping terms, FOB and CIF. International trade can be complex, but understanding these basic rules is crucial for avoiding financial risks. This video is for anyone new to global shipping. Did you know that in certain international shipments, you could be responsible for goods lost at sea, even if the seller paid the shipping bill? That's the power of Incoterms. International trade is full of acronyms that look similar, but mean very different things. Beginners often assume that paying for shipping means bearing the risk, a misunderstanding that can lead to financial disaster. We'll break this down into 4 simple sections: the specific transport playground for these terms, a look at FOB, then CIF, and finally, the critical difference between cost and risk. Let's start with where FOB and CIF actually apply, known as the specific playground in Incoterms. Both FOB and CIF belong to Group 2 of the Incoterms 2020 rules, which are specifically reserved for sea and inland waterway transport. Think of goods placed directly on a ship, like bulk commodities or oversized machinery. Crucially, these terms are generally not appropriate for containerized cargo, like laptops in a metal box. For containers, the ICC recommends using different terms, such as FCA or CIP, to avoid gaps in responsibility. Next, let's explore the first term, FOB, or free on board. Under FOB, the buyer is the captain of the journey. The buyer chooses the shipping company, arranges the contract of carriage, and pays for the ocean freight ticket. The seller's job is simply to get the goods onto the specified ship. The moment the cargo is physically placed on board, the seller is free of responsibility, and both cost and risk transfer to the buyer. Now let's switch gears to the other common term, CIF, or cost, insurance, and freight. Under CIF, the seller contracts for and pays the costs and freight needed to bring the goods to the named port of destination. Crucially, the seller must also purchase a minimum insurance policy for the buyer. You can think of the seller operating like a travel agent for the cargo. They select the ship, pay for the transport, and handle the logistics, ensuring the goods arrive at the destination port. Now for the most common trap for beginners in international trade, the crucial difference between cost and risk. The Incoterms rules clearly separate the transfer of cost from the transfer of risk. Just because the seller pays for the freight to the destination under CIF doesn't mean they bear the risk. Here is the key point. Under CIF, the risk still transfers to the buyer the moment the goods are placed on board the vessel at the port of shipment, not when they arrive at the destination port. Think of it like sending a package to a friend. You pay for the postage and insurance, but once you hand it over to the shipper, your responsibility ends. If the ship sinks, the buyer files the insurance claim. To wrap up, the choice between FOB and CIF comes down to control and upfront costs. Under FOB, the buyer controls the shipping and pays for the freight. Under CIF, the seller pays for and arranges the shipping and insurance, but the buyer takes the risk once the goods are loaded onto the ship. If you are a buyer, do you prefer the control of FOB? Or would you rather let the seller handle the logistics via CIF, even if it means relying on their choice of minimum insurance? We hope this clarified the differences between these two critical trade terms. If you have any specific questions about your shipments, leave a question in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into Incoterms and global trade logistics. Our next video will tackle FCA versus CIP, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your next international shipment.
Stay ahead in the world of global commerce. Subscribe to Vanijja for expert analysis, and don't forget to like this video.